Alright, Rigsters here, back with another episode. This time in World of Warships. A week or two ago, based on a Discord poll I did with Strawman, you guys wanted to see the USBB slow line, the Kansas to the Vermont. And it was perfect timing too, because I actually got lucky with some crates that you get for free and stuff, and was able to power my way through to Kansas. I don't have enough money to buy the next one, but I'm going to be working on that in the future. So, Kansas. Why would you play to Kansas? Well, because you get access to the next ship in the line, which is actually good. Minnesota, which has 406, 4x3 406s, which it's also very wide. And it has a lot of AA on the side. So, why do people don't really talk or play to Kansas much is really because, even though it's the same caliber per se, the reload time is, on paper, absolutely atrocious. But there's a reason why they're good. We go to equipment here. Now, you can't get it on the Tier 8, but the 9 you can. And it's a US battleship thing. You can get on the slot after this when you do Tier 9 to 10, the artillery plotting room that allows for decreased dispersion on the main battery. That means, at range, you're going to hit very often. You just have to pull lead. And you might be wondering, why don't you have all these upgrades mounted? Just the plot room and artillery armaments mod 1? Well, because I just wanted to power my way through to Kansas. That's why. But if you would fully kit it out, get the auxiliary mod. You don't need the main battery thing, because most of the time you're going to be firing at range. You don't really brawl in this. It's not a brawler, as you can tell. You put in damage con 1. Put the plotting room for more range. You can put, optionally, you could do either steering gears or damage con. Damage con would be probably more practical because, fires suck. So you want to put that in there. And then the last one, it's easy. You just put a concealment mod 1 in that slot. I don't know why you would ever put torpedo lookout system. That would be crazy. And ship consumable. I mean, it could help in some situations, but it's much better just to get concealment. And the captain skills are very straightforward. Most of it's the same except for one critical thing. Absolutely need adrenaline rush. Adrenaline rush, basically you gamble your hit points for more reload. So instead of having like 40-second reload the entire time, you can get it down to a more reasonable mid-30s if you have enough health to at least engage targets. And the last one for now is you get Concealment Expert. And without the module, you get 14.5 of Concealment Expert. And, of course, any camo that pretty much helps with detection. 14.5 is still usable for a battleship. And with that, let's get to the match. Okay, so now we're in a match. We have, oh good, a CV. And the Thunderbird, which is a problem. An okayish Pommern, Masta, Ponder, which you can easily destroy. The new German battle failure blind, the Zeton. Don't get it, it's not worth it. Salem, that's Okinaway. Oh, I haven't seen that one in a long time. Shiba actually can be a problem, even though you have good torpedo protection. Fletcher's 50-50. Ashio's dangerous only to battleships. And of course, submarines. So, with that being in mind, what do you do in a ship that goes only 22 to 23 knots, depending on if you have the speed flag on or not? I don't have the speed flag, so it doesn't really matter. First thing you do is you just find a spot, which in this case, I'm going to go towards C3-ish, but at a kiting position. Because I'm just going to use range. It's really that simple. It's not. This is not like in terms of playstyle very hard to figure out. It's getting the shells to hit is the problem. At least with the tier 8. The 9 to 10 have even more accuracy. Doesn't mean you'll miss every single salvo. You'll just be firing at ridiculously long ranges, even for this game's meta standards. So let's test one on the Pomeran. You might be wondering, well, 40-second reload means it's useless, right? Nope. Because what can happen is, because your reload is so slow, and you notice at the bottom left corner of the screen, I go in like half the quarter speeds every once in a while. That's just so they can't really hit me easily. It allows your concealment to quickly regain, because you'll be fired so infrequently that by the time you're reloaded, you'll usually be undetected and can reposition and fire again. Think of it as like the opposite stealth, provided you don't have destroyers running around near you. Which there is one, which is the Fletcher, but that's not a problem. They'll be using the minimap right here a lot more often in this ship to get some ideas of where the shells might possibly land. Definitely want to make each shot count if you can. I'm going to be out on the limb here, folks. I still have inexperience with the particular cadence of the shell dispersion of this line, but I definitely still recommend it over the new German battlecruisers for two reasons. One, the AA is extremely good for a battleship. It's like near the top end of the class, especially with Def AA running. I mean, boosts it by a whopping 50% continuous and 300% with flak clouds if the CV dares to touch your ship. They're going to be hurting. And you have such ridiculous range, you don't really need to go much further than this. And yes, you are a backline sniper, but it's a good one. Just like the Japanese battleships. If you want more mobility, but less AA effectiveness on the credit line, you could also link this to the Japanese battleships in some ways. There we go. Got our first hits of the match. Not a good hit, but I'll take it. A hit's a hit, you know. Now, right now, we're just doing a holding action between B and C. And you don't need the range upgrade if you put the artillery plotting room in. You have such good range. In fact, I actually have yet to bother with the tech tree range upgrade because there's no need for it. And you got spotter plane, so you really don't need it. Let's see here. There's that cruiser that I can't pronounce, and I have not seen in a while. Just checking to make sure. Now, I will move up a little bit now. Oh, there we go. Citadel damage on that particular cruiser. Don't know why he has a dank name for a screen name, but, you know, I've seen weirder stuff in video games. Right now, just have to bide your time. Just miserably cruise around. And one other funny thing is this ship is a little bit psychological in the fact that you're going so slow, and most ships go 30 knots plus at this tier and higher, that they're so used to aiming there, so usually will miss at range. Especially if you're throttle juking, well, if you consider moving a barge at 9.5 knots being throttle juking. You'll get wonkiness, you know, just like with any other battleship. So sometimes you get these godly 12k hits, and other times you get overbends. It's just the life of a battleship in general. The only upgrade you need on the tech tree is the hull. Just go for the hull and then just go straight for the next ship. That's all you need to do. It's really that simple. You don't need to overcomplicate. Oh, and I need to mention that it has depth charges at 10 kilometers. So I get a little bit closer to that submarine, which I don't think I will. But if I do, I can threaten it eventually. So I'm gonna go full speed. You'll get to see a fat ship move fast. Yeah. Now, in theory, I could pop the spotter plane, which I'm going to do just for this demonstration as well. I can almost hit the Lexington. Right here is the range. This thick circle right here. That's the range of the main guns with the spotter plane active, in case you didn't know what that is. Lexington is almost in range. I'm at C3. He's all the way at I4. With spotter plane active, I can actually engage the Lexington. Now, if I'm actually going to hit, probably not. But I'm going to go for it? Yeah, why not? Just do it for the lulz. If that actually hits, that's going to be the funniest hit I've done in ages in this game. Even if it's an overpin. He's probably going to be shocked to see those shells come in at all. Blind firing in this ship is actually pretty hilarious at times as well. It's actually a really good blind fire if you know how to do it. It's very effective at it. And right now I'm just concentrating on the Salem and Thunderer. Thunderer actually is a serious threat to any battleship. Salem is 50-50. I mean, you don't want to be too silly here. Let's see if I can get some hits there. And since it's 406s, if you played the other line, which is the Carolina to Montana, you'll be right at home with most of the ballistics of this ship as well.
The ship is on fire.
And now we start reversing. And I'm going to let those fires burn for a bit, because the reload is slowly getting faster. He doesn't know that I have this though. So I don't mind getting double fires temporarily. Plus I don't want to waste it because he's going to keep shooting at me. That would be really weird. Okay, I might put it out soon though. Now we're actually going to be concerned. This is done a few times where you do stuff like this. Alright. Put out the fire. And then you unleash your bullets. Unfortunately, they turned out to be overpens, but I'll take it. Now is to start maneuvering a barge. Gosh, this would be a little bit embarrassing if the Salem actually manages to kill me, but what else am I gonna do? It's one of the few weaknesses armor scheme wise the ship has is stuff like Salem can still do a pretty good beatdown on the ship, for sure. Let's see if these shells will hurt. Now, overpet. Oh. Fascinating. Well, now the reload is down to 32 seconds. That's like almost a 10-second reduction right there at this health. I'm not going to try to get these shots off. Nope. Bummer. So that concludes the Kansas for now. Pretty much that's all I got to say for it. It's a long-range US battleship with good AA that gets really dunked on when you have teammates that do questionable, confusing things, I guess. And also, I'm still pretty crap at hitting stuff with Kansas. I know the Minnesota is good though. That's where the accuracy really comes into play. And the Kansas could be a stinker in that regard. Once you get to this thing, oh boy, I cannot wait for the consistent accuracy. So, that is it for this video. Rigsters Journey, signing off.